Hi, everybody. Well, I made most of this video yesterday. I guess it was most. Well, maybe 10 minutes worth. And I got interrupted with a call from a doctor's office. And I'm so bad with technology. I wasn't sure how to answer the call. Of course, I stopped the video and answered it. And then I couldn't remember where I left off or what I had included and what I hadn't. And chemo brain just sort of kicked in. So I am making this again. Okay. All right. I gave Neon a driving lesson yesterday. And he is much taller than I am. So I definitely could not reach the pedals there. Neon's doing well, though. We worked a little on getting out of the parking lot finally and getting on the road. Not much road work, but we've broken the ice. This kid is not as enthused about it, about driving, as I'd hoped. But Chris and I said, you have to at least learn. If you don't want to drive afterwards, that's up to you, but I'm not giving you a ride to your friend's house when you're 24. So, and their mother has a car for them. So, they're starting out just right. And they have an appointment to get their license, go for that test in February, and we have to log in so many hours. But I think they're doing better than they think they're doing. But I was so enthused about driving when I was their age. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to get out of the house and feel that kind of freedom. And I also had a car waiting for me. It's hard to do for a kid anymore. I don't know how much the car insurance is going to be, but I think that we'll do well, but we have a lot more to log. Anyway, other than that, and yesterday's little faux pas, I'm doing okay. I woke up with a little headache this morning, but doing a check, tummy's okay. All other systems seem to be okay. I know why I have a headache. It's a turtle headache. I tend to sleep with the sheets over my head because I'm cold all the time. And if I don't, then my nose gets really cold. Can you relate to that? And so, yeah. Sometimes Chris will come into the bedroom and see me, just not see me. And I have extra blankets. I've been so cold. I'm cold in all summer, really. I mean, I'm a little surprised at the temperature that I've been keeping the thermostat. Chris adjusts. He sort of bows to my needs, which I really appreciate. But I also don't want to have him wear a sweater to bed in the middle of July or something either. So I'm on the way to the office and I'm going to run a couple errands today. And I got to stop at Walmart for coffee. You know it. And then get that, and then we will talk about things. Hi, I'm back, and I have caffeine. Part caffeine. Because I already had my first coffee this morning. So I wanted to talk to you about a couple of cancer YouTubers that I'm a little concerned about. But I also wanted to give you an update which I think I'll do first, so stick around. My shoulder surgery for whatever I bitched up in there is going to be October 17th. And in the meantime, I'm doing my PT twice a week at least, and every day at home. And I think it's been feeling good. My range of motion has, like, I couldn't do this when I first went to the doctors. And now this one kind of hurts. I don't know if it's bilateral kind of an issue or if it's just the arthritis. I'm banking on it, though, that it's just the arthritis. I'm hoping. So every day I also rub down my shoulder with Voltaren. That's it, Voltaren cream. But I use the Walmart Equate version. And I don't know what they call it because it is Dica something. I don't know. Anyway, you're welcome to put on the comments and correct me, but it's not important to me. What was important to me is putting that ointment on is an NSAID, and I cannot take NSAIDs orally, at least not long term, because of what it can do to the tummy. And if I have a bleed or something, they're probably not going to be able to do anything because of all the scar tissue. So the same reason they can't get a lot of the cancer, surgically. So I do this like 3 times a day. Well, I'm doing it like more like 1 or 2 times a day now, especially when I go to bed, because it just does feel better. I mean, it's not like your grandmother's Bengay, let's put it that way. It's not cheap like Bengay was either, but now that I don't need it quite as often, I think it's, I'm watching somebody back out of a spot very awkwardly. Okay. So I'm telling you this because when I rub it down, okay, then I've got excess ointment and I do this, and then I find out my hands are feeling better. I mean, my hands do feel better. I have a lot of arthritis, and I have Dupuytren's contracture. And I think both of those sources are causing pain. I had to stop doing crafts. I still can't open a jar. I think even if I'm on it, I just can't do that anymore. But I was wondering, what can I do? Or what can I do again? And one of the things was the crafts, because I'm a big believer in crafts being a means of meditation and calming stress, or really anything that is creative, okay, can be a craft. So I always, for years, made jewelry, especially earrings. You have not seen any of those earrings because I'm not wearing my own work, and I had sold a lot of it off. I know I have a collection somewhere, I think stored in the basement, but I haven't looked. But I still have all the supplies. I've been talking for 2 years about getting rid of them. And suddenly, I mean, if I had done that, I might be very disappointed in myself, because I'm going to try to make jewelry again. For as long as the fingers will cooperate. I've done crafts of one sort or another since I can remember. My grandmother did a lot of needlework. She did embroidery, she did crochet, she knit. She didn't sew necessarily, but my aunt, her daughter, Aunt Doris, always sewed, and she made some of my clothes, actually. That's another video. So, funny story. So, my grandmother taught me all those things. I wasn't as fond of knitting because it takes a lot longer to do. I know a lot of people use looms and stuff now, but they didn't have that back then. Well, I guess they did, but we didn't have it. So, and embroidery, I did like that. And stitch work, cross stitch. Needlepoint. That was the other one that I enjoyed. So I think of them all, I really did like needlepoint and crocheting. And I'd made a few things. And I kind of stopped that just because, it just wasn't my thing anymore. And I went on to other stuff. I don't think I could do that again. That is very tedious and it takes a long time. So if you're doing the same motion over and over again, that's probably going to hurt. But with making jewelry, something like that, it is a different motion every other second. You're doing something else, whether you're beading, whether you're twisting wire. So I'm going to do that again, and I will show that to you. I actually have a craft space downstairs, a little craft table and a chair, and it's next to all the supplies that are on a shelf. And we have a small area in the basement that's finished. I don't really like to hang out down there. There's no windows, and the overhead is fluorescent, but that helps with the crafts as far as the overhead lights. But I did make a pair of earrings already, and I was on the phone, and I enjoyed that. The other thing I used to do on the phone when I was a kid, I would do a lot of doodling, and I did a lot of drawing, just pencil sketches. And doodling is also a great form of meditation and a stress buster. Even though I always say I try not to worry about things I can't control, that doesn't mean it's always successful. But those are things that will help you not worry so much. Whether it's your illness or the shit show that we live in, I think that we all need to get back to some basics. Cooking definitely is one of my stress busters. And I do like cooking, but it's not something I do every single day. It is something that we share in the house. And I think that's important, because if I had to do it every single day, I don't know. I don't know if I would enjoy it as much, because I think about the week ahead and a few dishes that I want to make, and I get excited about it. Maybe it's something I've never made before. But I think it's important to be true to your abilities and try new crafts within your abilities, of course. The other thing is that since I used to doodle and draw, and I used to doodle, do you remember like the old phones, right? I mean, we didn't have cell phones when I was a kid. And I remember being on the phone. If I didn't doodle, then I was playing with that spiral cord. And I don't know about you, but I used to like put my finger through it, wrap it around, then I would wrap it the opposite way, and then it would just be one big knot. And I would spend the entire rest of the conversation undoing the knot, because I don't think my mom would be happy to see it in the disarray that I left it. I've just always been a little fidgety. That's probably the world's first fidget, right? So I've decided that I'm going to try sketching as well. So I bought a sketch pad, a travel kit full of just a few charcoal pencils, and an eraser and a brush. And I also got a little foldable lamp that's rechargeable. It's the cutest little fluorescent, well, it's LED, but it kind of gives a fluorescent off. You can set it 3 different light settings. And yeah, for $10, right? So for less than 20 bucks, I thought that was a great little investment to just relieve some stress. So I will share that with you as well. I don't know, I'm rambling, but I haven't really had that much coffee yet. Cheers. Gotta have a Wawa. Let's talk about Kevin first from Eekres. There's a listing of the people that I recommend down below in the description box, and he's on that list in case you forget. But while you're down there, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the black bell or the white bell, make it black. That will ensure that you get notified when I have new videos up. So anyway, that's my little plug. So Kevin from Eekres, if you follow him, you might know that he had surgery this past Wednesday. And his wife is doing the updates, and Bridget is very sweet. So those updates are very important to us. And Bridget, we appreciate you. So surgery went well. And there apparently was 2 procedures that needed to be done. And he was to the point where he really couldn't urinate very well in the morning. And hopefully, I'm sure he's in pain, but hopefully this will alleviate that and allow him some quality of life for however long he has. And as you know, that they decided to stay on the property they're at and not sell the house. And I don't blame them. I mean, I'm sure that he can get that house ready for Bridget to sell at some point at a later date, and so she can go back to Iowa to be with her family. All right, so I just wanted to update you on that in case you hadn't seen that. And I'm sure there's going to be some more testing and the follow-up and see how things are now. Because I don't think that they were able to see everything on images, and they needed to go in to really take a look as well. Then there is Kim Clune. She actually ended up going back to New York from Alaska, the state that, she was really from, but she had become an Alaskan resident in the meantime. And it was a very good thing for her to do, to be around people and not be alone without resources in the winter. We haven't heard a whole lot from her. I'm hoping that maybe even by the time that this is up, that she will have given us another update. She had decided that she was just too busy and was going to update us through the community tab posts. And we did get one at least. There may be another one, but, I'm a little concerned. I mean, I think, or I'm hoping it's because she's just so busy with all her friends. She didn't have quite as many people in Alaska. And maybe that just didn't give her as much time here to do videos. I'm sure that we will get one. I just know that she's in hospice now, and she is not in treatments anymore. So we kind of know where that stands. I just want her to enjoy as much time as she can. And I sent her my doctor's names in Vermont, since New York can't seem to get their act together yet. And one of them is a gynecological oncologist, but if he can't see her, then I'm sure he can refer her to someone. And I know that that's the terms that she wants to go out with, death with dignity. And of course, I'm a big supporter of that, aren't I? Nobody wants us to suffer. No, God does not want us to suffer. I'm not going on that soapbox. No, don't even tempt me. Anyway, I support her fully, and I hope you're doing really well, Kim, if you're watching this. Yeah. She's a great woman. I mean, you can just tell that. She's somebody that I wish, if I had a sister, that she would be my sister. Now we're just, sisters in a different way. And then finally, I want to talk about Mike. That guy, Mike. I know I've heard you all express in my comments how worried you are about Mike. And I too share those feelings and thoughts. I know that his motto is to always look for a silver lining. And I really admire him. And I don't know if I was at the stage he's at, if I would be videotaping like at all, at least not without a lot of help. I don't know if he's in denial or he just doesn't want us to worry. But if you just look at a video from just maybe 4 months ago and a couple of videos in time, as far as maybe one in 3 months, 3 months ago, and then 2 months ago, and then a month ago, and then weeks, he is losing a lot of weight. I mean, every time I think you can't lose any more weight, he does. And every time I think his voice can't get weaker, it does. So, here's the thing. I want to find that silver lining. He's still strong enough to make videos, and that's awesome. I want to see him thrive. I believe in miracles. And I support you, buddy. You know, I have never actually reached out to Mike. You know, not personally, like I have with Kevin and Kim. So I don't know if he would watch this or not. I mean, there's a way to tag people. But Mike, if you are, I'm just pulling for you. No matter what, I want you to have the quality life. You're so young. I want you to gain weight. I want you to get stronger. I want them to beat the crap out of this cancer for you. But yeah, we're all worried about you. So you have all given me a lot of people to follow, the people that you follow, and I do have a list of a few people to check out yet, because I haven't introduced anybody new for a while, just been off doing stuff, other stuff. So I'd like to do that. So if you want to add somebody's name to my list to check out that I haven't already, then I'm happy to do that. If they are controversial, though, you may not see them because, you know, we've been through that before. If I want to mention someone and recommend that you follow them, I don't want to get the opinions that they're scammers or, you know, like that, or they're just money out for the money. And Kevin, by the way, Kevin said in a video recently that people have actually accused him of faking his cancer because he looks too good. You cannot always judge by how someone looks, or you can't even judge how they feel by the way they look. And I'm a prime example of that. Some people just tell me that I look too good to have cancer. Not that they're accusing me of anything. They're just saying, you know, you wouldn't know. I mean, you look great. You look like you feel good. Well, Kevin does as well. Don't judge a book by its cover. There's a lot of symptoms that just come and go. I don't want to share that every single day because, you know, we need new content once in a while. And Kevin is the same way. He will tell us his symptoms or things that hurt, but nobody needs to milk it. You know it, right? And I think it's ludicrous that another human being would even go there. Just trolling? I mean, for God's sakes. I'm not saying that there aren't scammers out there. I know a couple people have been outed for actually not having cancer. And they might have been looking for money, or they might have just been looking for sympathy votes, ratings for their channel. But I think if you follow someone long enough, you'll be able to tell, and you have to go with your intuition and your gut. And Kevin has had a channel as long as YouTube has been on. So his following was already big. He didn't need to scam anybody. And he doesn't ask for money. He does just fine. There's just no reason. I don't know, you can think what you want, but I think sometimes you just got to keep it to yourself. And it just defies logic to me. And it should defy logic for everybody if you've been following Kevin long enough, or if you've been following me long enough. No one has accused this of me yet. But I totally expect it to happen. And YouTube is giving me a thicker skin, I will say that. Like, okay, block. There's been a couple people that have gotten under my skin, and I share that with you. But I just don't understand what's wrong with this world. I really don't. The people in it just keyboard bullies is what I call them, because it's easy to hide behind that keyboard. We didn't have this problem years ago. They just did it in person, on the schoolyard. It's just awful. It's awful, especially to troll somebody that's actually going through cancer. Okay. I have spoken long enough. I'm sure you're telling me that. So if you're still here, besides commenting, liking, and subscribing, telling me who else I might want to consider following, because there's new ones every day. There might be somebody new that I should look at. But besides that, I also want to know about what crafts or hobbies that you used to do, maybe that you do now, or things you'd like to pick up again, within your abilities, of course. I don't think I would ever be able to crochet again, to be honest with you. But I think I can do the jewelry now. I just got to keep that ointment on my hands. And that was a good discovery. So they are not a sponsor, but I highly recommend it. And I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.